All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the eBay shop. My name's Corey.
I'm Teresa.
And we are Grams and Pops Vintage. And our last video, we kind of talked about having a live sale on TheDollarAuction.com. We were trying to clear some space, and we have done that. So we're going to talk about how that went.
We are. It was a blast. I love it.
It was a lot of fun, but it was also nerve-wracking because we did just about everything wrong. And it still turned out okay, and we ended up making some money.
You did everything wrong? I didn't do nothing wrong.
We did a lot wrong. We'll talk about that. We did a lot of things wrong, but it still ended up being a very profitable sale.
Yep.
Well worth the time we put into it. And we're going to kind of walk you through what that looked like from our side, from the seller side. So, but first, as usual, we do have to get some stuff packed today. It's going to be a heavy Monday.
We had some good sales this weekend.
We had some good sales this weekend, plus the dollar auction sale we had. We have to ship all that today. So what's the first two things that sold?
The very first thing we
first thing
we sold was a necklace and earrings. I just gave him the earring or the necklace to show you, but it is a Whiting and Davis molded white tulip pendant silver tone necklace with clip-on earrings.
All right, so that's what it is right there. Just a little necklace. What'd that sell for?
$49.99 plus shipping.
All right, the next thing was another piece of jewelry. We sold a lady's watch. It looks like this here.
So I have to say, it was a very jewelry-heavy weekend.
It was.
I'm pretty sure I have like 12 items out of the 27 that we have to ship that are jewelry.
Which, by the way, is another great number. 27 down from 40-some on a normal Monday.
Yep.
And we're still making the same amount of money. So the high-ticket switch is definitely still working. And this auction was just an attempt to clear shelves for that stuff.
Okay, so this was a Bova women's stainless steel Swarovski crystal white bracelet watch, wristwatch.
Yeah. What did that sell for?
Sold for $60 plus shipping. Okay, guys, I do have to interrupt. Sorry, in the middle of the video, I had to interrupt. I do have an announcement. We are having another live auction. We are going to pull some inventory from our shelves to sell. We are going to do it on Friday at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, normal time. We are going to start everything at $1 because we are having it on TheDollarAuction.com at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We are following a couple of people that are having lives that day. So tune in early so you can check out theirs and then come tune into ours and see what we got to sell. And now, back to the video.
All right, so as far as the live show goes, I think the first thing we should probably talk about is setting the show up. Like, what is that process like? Because we don't do a lot of lives. We're still under, probably that was our 7th one maybe, ever?
Maybe.
Including Whatnot and Polish and Brush and the dollar auction. I think this was our 7th live, so we still suck at this. And
I can tell you, the setup part, I'm going to be a horrible person, but I don't have a whole lot to do with it.
A lot of the setup is on me, and we use an iPad to do most of the setup. So that's what we run the show on. So I just set it up on that for the most part. So when we get ready to do that, we pulled all our items from a shelf.
We did.
The shelf we wanted to clear. We didn't look through them. We just grabbed them off. It was the shelf we were wanting to clear off. We put them in a pile, and then I would go through and take one picture of each item and then put a title of the item and add it to the live show in the back end.
What else did you do?
Well, we had to create a show first. So we created the live show. We added the items in the back end with just one photo. And then we set up
one photo,
shipping.
You have to set up shipping. And then if you choose to do progressive shipping, which means they pay full price for their first item that they buy, I think is how it works. Don't quote me on it. I don't know. And then you add a dollar amount for every additional item. And each item can be separate. So if you have a heavier item versus, selling like a plush, you'd add like $1.50 to it. If you have a heavier item, you could add $3 to it for each additional item for shipping.
And we do have a video on how to add items in the back end if you're interested on the Dollar Auction's YouTube channel. Maybe I'll just put the video up here somewhere, or I'll put a link to it in the comments or description. So if you're interested, you can see. It's a very easy setup. You choose how long you want the auction to run for, and on the dollar auction, everything starts at $1.
Yep.
So the price is a real easy one to set.
It is.
And you just hit add to show. And what that does is it lets people pre-bid on the item leading up to the show.
Yep, but we have had other ones. So we've done both. We have done random polls, and we have done preloaded shows. Random shows are a little more, I would say iffy, just because nobody knows what you're going to be selling.
And what she means by a random show is we just add one product to the show and just call it a medium-sized product or a medium-sized item. We put shipping and a dollar amount of $1 on it, say we're going to run it for 20 seconds. So nobody knows what item is coming up. It's just whatever comes up is a medium-sized item. We run it, and then we duplicate that item right in the show and do the next. Doing it that way, we've had some organizational issues.
We have, especially like, well, when we were in Nebraska and we did our mystery box unboxing, we didn't know what was in there.
Nope.
So, and then not only that, but we weren't prepped for, marking everything like either with sticky tape or Post-it notes or something, so you know which item is which. The one bonus though is I think there are replays or buy snippets, I don't know what they're called, that you could go back and potentially look at, which we've had to do.
It does make the back end shipping after the fact a little more complicated because you have to remember what you sold to who in order for you to go pack that all up. So we prefer, for a couple of reasons, we prefer to list them ahead of time because one, you never have to guess what sold. You have a picture in the item title. And two, people can pre-bid on your items all the way leading up to the show, which really helps when you get into the show.
It does.
It also gives people an idea of what you're selling, whether or not they want to be in the show. And that's, if you're selling decent stuff, that's always a good idea.
See, that's part of my problem with going on Whatnot, is I go in there, but a lot of them are random pulls, and I don't want to sit there and wait to find out if they're going to sell something that I want to buy.
Yeah, so that was the setup, and I'll try to link a video of what that setup looks like behind the scenes in the actual software so that you could see that if you're interested in it. But it's really a pretty straightforward setup. It's not bad. It's just a picture, a title, a price, and your shipping. It's so much faster. It takes me just like 2-3 minutes per item maybe.
Yep. Less details than putting it on eBay.
Yeah, you don't have to pick item specifics. You don't need a bunch of pictures, anything like that. So it makes it really easy to get a show set up and scheduled.
But there are some people who only put one picture on their eBay listing, so.
Yeah, there are. So all right, let's look at what sold next.
We sold some Tsums. Do you know what those are?
I do not.
They're
these.
like animals. All kinds of animals. Because this one has
there's people.
Disney figures. They're like people, but they're not people. They're like little flat, round blobs.
They're little plastic toys. There's some trains. There's some all kinds of stuff.
I got $4 into this, and it sold for $29.99.
All right, the next one looks like one of my picks. We picked up a bunch of vintage duck calls and goose calls and predator calls at a garage sale.
We did, and this is Cirque. Is that what it is? Is there no L in there?
Yeah. No, it's not.
Cirque, something Call of the Wild.
Circe? I don't know.
And Loman Predator Call Lot. There are 2 of them, and they sold for $32.99.
All right, so when show day actually came and we had to run the show, it's really just as simple as going in and hitting live, like go live.
Yep, this is my favorite part of all of it.
And this is the part where I usually step back and let Teresa kind of handle it. I handle the behind the scenes, which is helpful.
Yes,
and then she handles the on camera.
He hands me the products.
Yep, and then I take them away and organize them as they sell or don't sell.
But yeah, so when you're behind the scenes, doing your shows, some people will also stream live to YouTube.
Yep.
But yeah, so you get up there and you just got to be energetic. Like, you can't be a Debbie Downer when you're up there selling stuff.
I'm not a Debbie Downer. I'm just not a high energy person.
No.
And that doesn't play as well. Like, some people are good at this and some people are not. I'm in the category of not. And Teresa is in the category of, like, she could be more high energy. She's our social butterfly. So I pretty much defer to her as far as running the shows, and that works better.
Yep. So once you pick an item, so the ease of running it is once you pick an item, you go into your listing of stuff and you find it and you add it to the stage, give a little explanation of it, and then hit run.
Yep. And basically you're just showing the item, and that's the extent of it.
You're the Vanna White of your show.
Yes, you have to show the item off, and it's, show any flaws, show the features, whatever, make sure it works.
Yes, make sure that if there are flaws, that is my big thing. Make sure if there are flaws, make a note of it ahead of time so that you can point it out.
Show them before you hit start bidding.
Yes,
that way people don't see the flaw after they've bid.
Yep.
That would be our recommendation. But showing the stuff and saying this is what's for sale and it starts at $1, and then hitting go live and then hitting start the auction, We set ours to about 15 seconds for the auctions.
Is it 15
If somebody,
or was it 20?
it was 15.
Okay.
And then if somebody bids, it adds a few seconds to it, so you have time. So there's
yes,
no like end of last second sniping.
Yep, we don't do sudden death. Sudden death is where
It just ends
when you
it
run,
ends.
whoever gets the last bid in at 1 second, when it hits 0, that's who gets the item.
And a lot of people do the sudden death. I said do. But for me, I don't like it just for the fact that when it gets down to the last second, if you have like 6 people swipe at the last second, it runs the bid up. It takes all 6 bids, and you might have actually bid $6 instead of $1 when you didn't mean to. So I don't really care for the sudden death. I know a lot of people do like them. I just, personally, I don't like them because it's happened to me before, and I don't like bidding.
He doesn't like not getting what he's bidding on.
Well, it's not that. It's I don't like bidding more, like not knowing what I'm bidding. If you swipe at the same time.
Yep, you get the higher bid if you happen to swipe a little bit later.
So that's it for the live. You're basically just showing the item off and trying to sell it to whoever's watching. And once it sells, I just take it away and put it on the table. And if it doesn't sell, I take it and put it on a different table. All right, what's sold next?
We sold a pair of jeans. We sold some Tommy Hilfiger men's tapered fit stretch dark wash denim jeans. They are new with the tag.
Yep, nothing special to look at. They've got the red and the white tag on them there. They're Tommy's.
They're full on button flies too.
Button flies, yep.
I didn't note that in there.
What did they sell for?
They sold for $38.
There you go. And then next we have some Playmobil.
Yes, you got the back of the box though. But it is a 2007 Playmobil Dragon Rock playset. It is open box, but it is complete. Most of the pieces that are in it are still new in the bags.
Try and back up so you can see it all. But that's what it is. It's the whole set.
That sold for $29.99.
All right, so the aftermath of the show. What happens after the show?
The aftermath right away is you take a nap.
It is exhausting.
It is exhausting and stressful.
Because you're basically performing for an hour. Well, we did an hour-long show, so you're basically performing for an hour.
Yeah, but we have people who have done half-hour shows. Steve and Donna at Happy Heart Treasures, they run 2-hour shows.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. However long you're running, you're on. Like, you have to be high energy, you have to be on, and it is kind of exhausting. But more the aftermath that people worry about is, I don't want to sell 80 items and then have to ship 80 items.
No, the bonus is with multiple people in there, people are buying multiple items. So even though we sold a lot of items, we're not shipping, say you sell 80 items, you're not shipping 80 packages. Most of the time you're shipping probably 20 or 30 packages because people are buying multiple items.
Yep. In a live auction format, it is very, very common for people to, especially if you're doing progressive shipping. Once they've bought one item, they get very cheap shipping on everything else. So it's very common to just, they keep buying. So you're selling multiple items per person.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, you're not shipping the 80 things you sold. You're shipping, well, you are, but you're shipping them in maybe 20, 25 boxes.
Yep. I was going to say, one of the people from our sale this last Friday, or whenever it was, Friday. He bought 9 items. We had somebody buy 6 items. We had somebody buy 5 items, 6 items. So it's not, we do have some that are 1, 1, 1, 1,
Yep.
but the majority of them are more than one item.
Yep. And we'll just take you over quick and we'll just show you kind of what we piled up out of our show.
On our orders I packaged them together.
Yep. Let's go take a peek. All right. So let's see what we got. We've got them kind of split up by people here.
One. This is all one.
Yep.
This is one. This is one.
Lounge flies in there.
That's one. That's one. One, and one.
All kinds of good stuff. So lots of good stuff to pack. A lot of breakable stuff to pack.
Oh, I wish I could record. I wonder if I can run a time lapse just so I can show Corey complaining as he packs this stuff.
I will probably curse a little today.
That one.
There is
that one.
That one's got a chip tray that's all ceramic, and there is a lot of breakable stuff. But we'll get it all packaged up. We'll get it out of here. All right.
It'll be fun. Okay, so those were all of our packages. We have that many orders to ship. But then once you get that in the fulfillment area of your DollarAuction site where you're selling, you can go in and pick their items, and then you can ship it directly from there.
There's once you're signed up for the DollarAuction, you just go in and create an account, and if you sell something, then you have a little fulfillment tab.
Yep.
So you click fulfillment and it'll tell you what orders you have. So say one person, say Teresa ordered 6 things.
Yep.
It'll have Teresa and it'll have 6 things. It'll tell you exactly what they are.
Yep. Once you click on their order, it'll pop up along
Yep.
the side and show you everything with your pictures.
Yep. So what you would do then is take those 6 items, box them up into one package.
Yep.
And get it measured and weighed and put that in. You could buy your label right from the fulfillment tab.
Yep.
You can either do it right there and then it'll add the tracking for you, or you could buy it from like Pirate Ship or wherever you want.
Yep. And then you just copy.
Yeah, copy paste your tracking in.
Yep.
Now, speaking of labels, I'll do a little plug here. If you guys get these giant rolls of UPS, the free labels, a lot of the stuff we're shipping today will go UPS. So we have a UPS account.
We do.
And if you have a UPS account, it's free to sign up. You can get these giant rolls of 4x6 thermal labels.
Yep, there
for
are
free.
900 of them. 700 or 900 of them on there, I think.
And they're free, so you can get big rolls. The problem with them is they don't work on the printer because they're so heavy. It just drags the printer across the shelf.
We initially had a toilet paper roll up there, and so I'd put them on there. But before I could put them on there, that roll was too big, so I would have to spool them onto 2 rolls.
So we have actually made a roller for these. You can see how easy they spin. That makes it to where we could just pop that whole roll on there. We don't have to unroll them anymore. And these are for sale on our website if you're interested in one. But yes, if you would like to get one of those so you don't have to unroll your labels anymore, those are for sale on gramsofpopsvintage.com. And you can buy them right from the website under the shop tab.
Okay, up next, we are slowly but surely selling more cards. So we sold one of the jumbo packs of 1988 Topps football cards. Has 24 sealed packs. 40 cards in each pack. Is there gum in that?
No, there's no gum in the jumbo pack, so no ruined cards. You just get the whole box of clean cards.
Yes, so we have a whole crap ton of these, but that sold for $175 plus shipping.
All right, next we have some Patagonia. Is that like a laptop sleeve or what is that?
Don't sleep on these. That was only on the store for like 2 days.
Yeah.
It is a Patagonia laptop sleeve travel 15-inch case with pockets.
Yep, that's what it looks like. It's really thin, nothing to it.
Nope, and it sold for $24.99.
All right, so was it all worth it?
It's always worth it, because that's my entertainment.
Well, if you're just doing it for entertainment, you're probably not in the right business.
No.
So was it worth it for me? I look at the numbers, and I mentioned we did a lot of things wrong. One of the major things we wouldn't do if we were doing this as an income, we wouldn't source everything we sold at eBay prices.
No.
Everything we sold was active listings on our eBay store. We pulled them off and we sold them here because we were clearing shelves.
Yep.
So we had a much higher cost of goods sold.
Yep.
Which definitely took our total down. But even considering that, we still made a pretty decent amount of money on the sale.
Can I break down all the numbers?
Go ahead and break it down.
Okay, so sales-wise, for just products, so just the sales, no shipping, no tax, no nothing like that. We sold $241. Of that $241, there was 50 items that were sold. Those 50 items broke down into 18 packages.
So it made it a much smaller shipping deal.
That like cut it in like almost a
More
third.
than half, yeah.
Let's see, what else can I tell you? Most of our lives, as on the dollar auction, our lives seem to be really popular. Like we have...
Not just our lives, like everybody's lives.
So we had, in our show only, we had 72 people, but we ended up having like 136 viewers throughout the whole show, somehow coming in and out. But most of our lives on the dollar auction have anywhere from 30 to 60, 70. I think 70 is the highest we've had in there at one time.
It's very unusual to see less than 25, 30 people in a sale, even for a brand new user that's never ran an auction. If you schedule your auction ahead of time by a day or two, the dollar auction site and the owners, we're one of them, does a very good job of promoting that show to where when you go live, you have buyers in the show. So it's very rare to see anything less than 20, 30 people in a show.
Yep. So out of all of our 18 packages that are going out, this is the piece that I like, is of those 18 packages going out, 10 of those packages are going to new buyers that just bought from us for the very first time on Friday, which that's over half of our orders were from new buyers.
Yep, it was. Now the numbers break down because you do have to pay fees. The fees over there are 10%, and then a 2.9 plus 30 cent transaction fee per transaction. But with our fees and our high cost of goods sold, which was exorbitant compared to what it would be if we were sourcing for this, this was all sourced for eBay. But even considering that, our total cost in the show was about $132.
Yep, I rounded up a little bit.
Yep.
Not a little bit. I rounded up to the next dollar. That's how.
So $132 is what it actually cost us between fees, cost of goods sold, everything all in.
Yep.
That doesn't include shipping. Now we charge for shipping, so it doesn't cost us anything. Matter of fact, we'll probably make a few dollars on the shipping.
Couple.
So we'll probably get a few more dollars than the number we're going to give you, but that came out to what as far as net profit that we actually take home?
We made $109.35 in profit.
In 1 hour.
In 1 hour.
And that
so
was,
that's like $54.67 a piece.
Are we splitting it?
Well, I'm just saying for each of us. Well, we both worked, so if you split it in half, we each made $54.
It goes to one account.
An hour. No, I'm just saying an hour.
Yeah. So we made roughly $110. There'll probably be a little over that with shipping because I know we made a few dollars on shipping, and we haven't actually packaged it up yet. But I know we padded it enough to make a few dollars on shipping.
Yeah, we don't want to lose money on
shipping.
So
at the end of the day, $110 an hour. That's that's sourcing at eBay sourcing cost. That's not bad. I mean, if we were doing this with our spare inventory or with stuff we didn't source at eBay prices, we would have done very well in that show.
Yeah, I was going to say that's more than somebody might make on OnlyFans for
I don't know about that.
But I don't know. You never know.
I'll have to check my OnlyFans account, see what I make.
On your feet pictures? That's, yeah.
But all in all, I think it was a pretty successful show. I was really happy with it.
I love it. And you know, some of the numbers that we've gotten, because the four of us that are founders, and we've even chatted with some of the other people about their sales, how well they've done. Like it's taken off. It's really taking off.
Well, I think the most important part of it is the show up, the turnout for the shows and the community behind the dollar auction, like, is phenomenal. We did shows on Whatnot, even with support of some bigger sellers on Whatnot, pushing people to us. We averaged 10, 12, 15 people in a show, making a sale or two here and there. I mean, we did not do anywhere close to this on Whatnot. And we've sold on some other platforms, and we never had the turnout that we have here, and like ever.
And we've heard from some other people, you know, just that they've sold on other platforms, different ones, but they're all like, I love selling here because it's a great community. Everybody's willing to help each other. So if you're looking for a place to sell, come on over to the Dollar Auction.
Yep, it's just TheDollarAuction.com. Come check it out. If you do, I think there's what, 40 shows scheduled already?
I think there was 42 through the beginning of June, I think.
Yep, and there's plenty of room to jump in anywhere between then and June, now and June. But if you're going to sell on there, if you're interested in live selling but you're nervous about it, we will actually hop on and live sell with you.
Yep, or
like
just
in the same show.
Or for me, I don't even care to necessarily sell with you. I'm just there as your moral support.
Yeah, we'll just hop in as your tech support. We'll sit there and chat with you. We'll be on screen with you.
Yep.
And we'll walk you through it. If you hit a snag, you don't know what button to hit, like, we'll jump in, either us or one of the other owners will jump in with you, and we'll just sit there with you. So if you run into something, we can help you through it. So it'll make your first live show very easy. I know for me, the first time we went live, sitting there and talking to a camera is not natural.
It's not.
So to have someone else in a little picture up on the screen that you can talk to, it makes it a much more organic thing.
Even though that's what we're doing now.
I know. But talking to a camera with no one else in the room is not a very easy thing to do sometimes. It's not natural. It feels weird. So to have somebody on the screen with you really helps. So if you'd like to start live selling and you want that kind of help, just let us know. We'll jump in with you.
I love it. So just let me know. As long as it's not a night that I record my podcast.
Yep.
Then, or a night that we're busy at the office, I'm more than willing to jump in.
And if we are busy, one of the other owners will jump in with you. I mean, that's the kind of community we're trying to build. Like, there's always somebody willing to jump in and help with your first couple of live shows if you're nervous about it. And if you have questions, there's chat threads over there. So it's shaping up to be a really cool community. I'm really enjoying it.
We are on the road to, we've already, in the first less than 2 months, because we haven't been open 2 months yet, right?
Not yet.
We have surpassed the top 50. We are in less than 40 now.
Yeah, we're
in the top 40 of the marketplaces on the platform.
There's
we sell
almost
on.
1,000 people signed up for the marketplace. It's 9 something now at this point.
Yep, 955 I think was last time I
Yep.
checked.
And it's a very active community over there. So
It is.
all right, what's sold next?
This one makes me giggle a lot, even though it's very simple. It is a Harley-Davidson 2020 Touring Models Owner's Manual for Harley bike.
Yeah, if you find motorcycle owner manuals, pick them up. They can be worth some money.
I don't think we have any
We
left.
sold most of the ones we had, I think.
Yep.
So what did that one sell for?
It sold for $22 plus shipping. But the funny piece of it is, it's going, what, an hour and a half from us, and it's going to my old softball coach from when I was in high school.
All right, the next thing is something Teresa picked up on auction.
Nope.
Let me see if I can, it's this thing.
So, as I was going to my auction to pick up stuff,
Oh, this was from a Facebook buy?
Facebook buy.
All right, I'm going to put this down.
You're fine. I happened to see this in Facebook when I stopped at the auction house, and I messaged them. They said they would take $70 for it. I'm like, okay, because they had it listed for higher than that. It is an RVI Brake 2 auxiliary towed vehicle braking system with the remote. The only thing it doesn't have is, what do they call that thing? The pull away.
Oh, the emergency the emergency thing. So if your car came unhooked, it would like turn the brakes on.
Yep. So, but that was really cool, and it sold super fast. It sold for $375. So that was a $305 profit on that thing.
And it's for towing your car behind your camper or whatever.
Yep. So you put it in there, and it sits up against your brake, and when you activate the brake from your remote, because it has a remote that plugs into your lighter.
It actually it pushes the brake pedal in your car. So weird thing.
Cool.
Who would have known?
I don't know. I thought it was because we have the brake controller in our truck that controls the brake. Isn't that somewhat the same thing?
Kind of.
For the trailer?
It is kind of, but it doesn't physically have to push anything. It's electrically done. But these ones actually have the actuator that pushes the brake. So it's a more complex system. But that's... Like with the high ticket stuff, we paid up for that. It was $70. That's something a lot of people would just ignore as resellers.
But
It seems like as resellers, you really get stuck in that I'm not paying more than $5 for anything mode.
I have gotten out of that. Even on my auctions, I have gotten out of that.
Yeah. So paying up for it, I mean, the margin isn't 100x like we usually see in a lot of those things. But the profit on that was over $200 just profit.
$300.
Yep.
In fact, not including fees.
Yeah,
So yes, more like $200.
I'm not great with math, but it was a good profit. So
It was.
I'd pay 70 for 200, 300 profit.
I would too, and I've done it before.
All right. Well, I think that's it. We're gonna get out of here and get to packing today. So we will see you guys next time.
Before I say my phrase, like, subscribe, hit
Comment.
that notification bell, and comment down below.
And come see us at TheDollarAuction.com.
That is true. So, hasta la vista, baby.